Welcome to the Awesome Pod Mix. You're listening to Abby. The idea behind this podcast was to talk about everything related to movies and how it made me feel when I watched them for the first time and over the years. A reputed filmmaker once said, when a piece of art invokes a similar feeling amidst a large audience, it's the triumph of the filmmaker. That's the magic of cinema. I love the magic of cinema. Today, I'll be discussing the movie Mere Yaar Ki Shaadi Hai with a very special guest who played the director of Apahij Pyar. If you know, you know. If you don't, go find out. Welcome to the Awesome Pod Mix, May.
Hi, Abby. Thank you so much for having me around.
Post-interval, you have this big apology scene.
Yeah.
I know it was very difficult for you to write this scene because everything had to come in dialogue.
Yeah. Adi sir told me that I can only allow you 3 minutes of screen time.
For this?
For this. And when we started discussing the scenes of second half, we said, he will do this, he will do that. So we already had idea of what second half is going to be because our simple thing was second half is do or do paanch. One-upmanship, one-upmanship, one-upmanship. My problem was that everybody is behaving in Dehradun as if nothing has happened. I said, how can we ignore that bachelor party में ये लड़की को गोदी में लेके और दारू पिया हुआ पाया गया था रोहित और किसको लड़की के बाप को
Sanjay called them.
It's understood that he must have orchestrated the whole thing. I said, sir, how can we ignore such a big event that has happened? And everybody is behaving as if Shaadi is still on and all. The whole thing would have been that Shaadi would have been broken.
Correct.
झगड़ा हो जाता वहाँ पे. Alok Nath is a lecturer in a college which is again strange. He cannot have such a big house on a lecturer salary.
Generational wealth.
It's generational wealth. This is exactly what Adi sir told me. नहीं यही location अच्छी है, यही shoot करो. We shot it in Rambagh Palace in Jaipur. So that's the house that Alok Nath lives in. It's strange.
हमारे ख्यालात कितने मिलते हैं आदि सर आपको मिलना चाहिए कभी.
तो अपना pitching बंद कर. So now I said, sir, something Rohit has to do so that he can win over and the marriage is back on. As per me, the marriage is not back on. And Adi sir thought about it. First he ignored it. Sanjay sir and Adi sir, they both were like, नहीं चल रही ना picture. अच्छे scene से आगे चल के. I kept on fighting for it and then yeah, and then Adi sir said that fine, you're right. तेको बहुत तकलीफ हो रही है. I'll give you 3 minutes. One scene. Should be back to square one. Just write something. And you know what? I went home and I was like, what am I going to write? In one scene, how can he win over everybody again? What can he do? And then I remembered DDLJ. And I remembered Shahruk's whole monologue saying, तो क्या हुआ कि मैं तुमसे दीवानों की तरह मोहब्बत करता हूँ लेकिन बाबूजी कहते हैं तो ठीक ही कहते होंगे.
No, but Shahrukh is taking accountability in that scene.
That's exactly what Rohit is doing in this scene. My thing was that when I saw the film, it worked that he was being so honest. And honesty is a very attractive quality. If somebody is honest, you automatically become attracted to that person. It's very powerful also. So I said, instead of taking the other stand saying मुझे तो संजय ने फंसाया था वो जो आई थी डांस करने के लिए वो इसकी दोस्त थी इसके कहने पे आई थी and I have the proof.
I like that he didn't go that way because he's secure.
Yeah, he should not go there. So first idea was that, then I said no, he should be accountable, he should simply apologize. He should just say sorry. And the thing is, everybody will forgive him because everybody knows he's a nice guy and he does this whole apology. वो वक्त ही ऐसा था, माहौल ही ऐसा था. But he comes to Alok Nath and he says that बेटा कहा था आपने मुझे. अगर सचमुच बेटा समझा होता तो क्या माफ नहीं कर देते?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. कि ये जो पहले आपने प्लांट कर दिया है कि अगर मैं बेटा होता और इधर ये आपने पे ऑफ कर दिया. I get it. Screenplay wise, it is very masterful.
I went back, read his first scene which I had written like 10 days ago. I read that scene and I said, अच्छा ये 10 दिन पहले ये ऐसा लिखा था मैंने. So I can make use of that thing and also it's just honest and sincere. And I wrote that scene and next day I went, the first thing Sanjay sir and Adi they both asked me was, चले आगे का scripting करने. I said, नहीं sir वो interval के बाद का पहला scene. अरे तूने लिख लिया? I said, हाँ लिख लिया. Okay, read. And I read that scene and for the first time Adi sir got up and he said, बहुत अच्छा लिखा है. Wonderful. You have written a very good scene, Mayur. Very good, very good. And he became just genuinely very happy. It's a fantastic scene. I was given only those 3 minutes ka screen time to make sure that things are back to square one. It's something that you can do. And I went with the character's honesty, integrity, which is also the key aspect of his character. That's why it works.
He says तुम तो सूरज से भी नजर मिला सकते हो. I'm like वो नारायण शंकर का स्टूडेंट है, सूरज से नजर नहीं मिला सकता.
Oh God.
I had to bring in that. Come on, how would I not? After the scene, the first time Anjali asks Sanjay, what do you think of Rohit?
Yeah, because for her, his approval is very important.
It is, but इतने टाइम बाद पूछ रही है उसको. यही जगह मिली आपको सीन के लिए जब इतना बड़ा ड्रामा हैज अनफोल्डेड. उसने अभी तक नहीं बोला उसको प्रॉब्लम हुई है कि नहीं बैचलर्स पार्टी से.
At the interval point, we had two choices. As screenwriters or as creators, one choice is we are out in the open now. Now the boys are up against each other. They are definitely going to fight. We know this. What kind of a fight is it going to be? Are they going to fight dirty or are they going to fight gentlemanly?
It has to be a gentlemanly fight, no?
And I think the kind of person I am and the kind of person Adi sir is, we had taken this call that no, it will be a gentlemanly fight. See, being unvalorous or being unchivalrous is a very petty thing. It's a very easy way out. बट आपको उस मर्यादा में रह के लड़ना है, तो ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग है. सो नाउ वी हैव ऑलरेडी प्रूवन विद रोहित आफ्टर इंटरवल इन द फर्स्ट सीन दैट ही इज गोइंग टू बी जेंटलमैन, अपोलोजाइजेस, ही डजंट डर्टी Sanjay's character. He doesn't say इसने मुझे फंसाया. So he's not taken that approach and Sanjay has seen that. He is a gentleman in his fight. So when Anjali asks him that what do you think of Rohit? He can't help but he has to be nice. That's where he wins audience का heart.
But he also believes कि वो उसे खुश रखे.
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं है कि वो ऐसे ऊपर से बोल रहा है.
Honesty को honesty से ही जीता जा सकता. When Rohit becomes honest and wins over the audience is like, okay, now what is Sanjay going to do? Sanjay becomes even more honest. And he again wins you over. हाँ, तो कोई ऐसे छुट्टू पुट्टू पिक्चर नहीं है, बहुत सोच समझ के लिखी गई है.
देखो ऐसे ही फैन नहीं हूँ मैं, सबसे बड़ी फैन हूँ इस पिक्चर की, ठीक है? थोड़ी इज्जत इधर भी बख्शिए. Sanjay and Anjali have a conversation which he overhears.
Which Rohit knows. So it's very important that the both of them should know that they are being gentlemanly. Yeah.
So he goes and again she's like, अरे ऐसा क्या किया तुमने? So again he's like, प्यार किया है तुमसे.
Which is the same line which he's said earlier. तो आधे ही डायलॉग लिखो पिक्चर में. The good thing is write half a dialogue and then find a place to repeat it.
देखो setup is important and payoff is also important. So आधे मत लिखो लेकिन reuse करो.
Recycle करो. देखो reuse, recycle. This is environmental friendly writing.
But writing is rewriting. That's what you teach, no?
Yes, writing is rewriting.
So the ticking clock, obviously 6 days. रोहित को लगता है कि Sanjay has admitted defeat now that he's spoken nicely about him in front of Anjali. वो ऐसी गलती कैसे कर? उसको क्यों लगता है कि he's admitted defeat?
Because in his victory over the family, which was an unseemingly difficult task, which seemed unreal, इतना सब होने के बावजूद, when he goes with honesty and he sees that everybody's forgiven him, the wedding is back on. He, in a moment, probably he thinks that, okay, I have won over. And when he sees Sanjay telling Anjali that he's the right person for you, he thinks that he has also won over Sanjay. तो मैंने family को तो convince कर ही लिया है, लेकिन Sanjay से directly बात नहीं की, but probably now he understands that I am the right person. So he'll back off probably. For just a little second. First line he says, "Kya re good you did that," and that guy says, "Oh, what did you think?" So immediately you're back on दो और दो पांच template.
So he says that there's a 3-month anniversary. ये 3 महीने में शादी कर रहे हैं यार. बड़े confident है यार dating को लेकर.
नहीं, मुझे ये भी लगता है कि शायद हमारे मन में ये रहा होगा कि ये थोड़ा चटमंगनी पट ब्याह वाला situation है. It's the wedding is happening in a hurry. So there is hope. You know, if a relationship is अच्छा पका हुआ over a period of time, then it's stronger. Then it's more difficult. So this is one of those things which are.
So you kept it like that so that बाद में जब ऐसा कुछ possibility हो तो.
Subconsciously in our mind, probably it was not to give Rohit and Anjali a very long backstory. Probably.
But that's smart.
Yeah, it becomes more believable.
So Rohit says that 6 दिन में मेरी शादी है. Obviously he's celebrating. So Sanjay is like 6 दिन में दुनिया 6 बार घूम जाती है. रोहित का counter is तुम अपनी दुनिया घुमाओ, मैं अपनी दुनिया बसाने चला. My God, what fucking line! What a line! And I'm like, इसके बाद वो क्या ही बोलेगा बेचारा? Poor Sanjay, I feel so bad for him.
You know, when you are doing one-liners for heroes, when you are giving them strong, big lines, you have to stop at a point. The problem with today's filmmaking, when you have these larger-than-life heroes and villains and they are talking and they're having confrontations and they start giving one-liners to each other, they don't stop. They don't know where to stop. You will see that it's a very simple thing in nature that attacks are always countered with one step going back. So a lion will attack, but then he'll again go back and poise before the next attack. So it's a game of taking a step back and then leaping. Same thing in a scene also should happen. At some point, one person has to go back. But that going back is just a poise for the leap, which is going to come in the next scene. So you don't have to keep on writing 5 pages of one-liners. It's stupid because it's exhaustive. After a point, audience stops caring.
And even though I don't like Rohit's character as much, I really love the way he delivers this line. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, he's a very cool character.
So now we come to the pre-Jage Jage scene. Oh, so much love I have for this scene.
I don't like the way it was shot. I was there on the shoot. It was in Switzerland. We got a beetle for it. I wanted a colorful beetle. I wanted like a red or yellow. Like I really wanted a yellow beetle. It was not possible and we got a silver beetle. And I was very upset. So I was telling Sanjay sir that we should delay this scene. He was like, are you mad or what? We have 13 days to shoot in Switzerland. Whatever we can, we'll shoot here. So we decided to shoot with the silver beetle. My problem with that scene is that I wanted them to be in the beetle, Sanjay and Anjali. And I wanted that whole or pass thing to happen inside the beetle so that there is intimacy, close, confined space, that kind of a thing. It's almost like an interior scene.
I would have loved that.
Yeah. But Sanjay sir was right. Sanjay sir was like, तू पागल है, हम लोग स्विट्जरलैंड में आके और गाड़ी के अंदर शूट करेंगे. We should be out, see the mountains, see everything. Na, it will be bigger and beautiful if they are outside. So they step out of the car, because for me it's like, why are they stepping out of the car? Like, it's ridiculous. And why are they talking outside the car? It's something that should have been inside the car. But it was a small thing. These kind of creative differences will happen every time you're making a film. In a way, he was right. We were in Switzerland to show Switzerland. Audience would love it if there is big pahad piche and it's nice.
I agree. But if you go see the scene today, there are just green pastures behind. There's not even a mountain range visible.
So when we were shooting it, at that time I was very excited that wow, because beautiful mountains, snow-laden peaks behind us. We set up the shot and I was telling Sunil Patel, the cameraman, wow, this is going to be so beautiful. And Sunil Patel told me at that time, दिखेगा कुछ नहीं, because it won't print. Because when you have exposed, see, we were shooting on film. In those days, we did not have base light and we did not have the color correction mats that we have today.
Correct.
So if you have exposed for the faces of the actors, then the piche ka, it's all overexposed actually. But in that overexposure white in the sky behind, actually it was depth and it was beautiful. But all...
Still, if I were in your place, I would have fought. You know I can fight.
You think I didn't?
I don't know. You're not telling me right now if you fought.
See, at the end of the day, you have to agree to other people also.
No, I'm not saying I'm not agreeable. I'm saying there are certain things that I would really fight for.
There are a lot of things where they agreed to what I was saying. Also, and this is a smaller battle to lose. So you choose your battles, right?
But it would be so good if it was like the
Inside the
intimate
vehicle.
theme.
Yeah.
My God, like sunke, I was like, shit, yeah, it should have been intimate.
I know.
Closed spaces, confined, anxiety, because she's anyway feeling nervous. She doesn't know what's gonna happen.
But then again, it meant that shooting inside the Beetle means we would have not been able to use Steadicam. We would have to do the whole scene in cuts. And Sanjay sir was very keen about that. No, it should be a two-shot. I want to see both of them all the time. I want the chemistry. I should be able to see both of them all the time. And it was very daring of him to think like that, because he knew we don't have a Shah Rukh Khan Kajol. We don't have an Amitabh Bachchan Rekha in the frame. We have Uday Chopra and Tulip. But he was very confident that no, I will do it with the two of them. I will give them that moment and it will be a two-shot and we'll be able to see both of them all the times when they are doing this. That's a call that a director has taken. For a lot of reasons it works. I'm saying that if we cut inside the car, then you can cheat a lot of things. You can create a moment, even if there's no chemistry, you can create chemistry. By the correct timing of the cut, by the correct timing of looking up, looking down, there's that, you know how we filmmakers, we cheat audience. So we can do all of that if we are inside and if we are doing it in cuts. But also it would have taken a lot of time. And we didn't have so much time. We shot that scene in like an hour or something like that.
So at this point in time, Anjali tells Sanjay that what would you have done if you were in my place?
तो मेरे से क्या होते तो क्या करते?
Exactly. And for some reason in my head, it's like she's trying to ask Sanjay, what if we were in love, then what would you have done?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, क्यों पूछोगे तुम इससे कि तुम क्या करते?
And she's also tautolifying Sanjay, who was a friend up till now. She's also trying to find out what kind of a lover he would be. If he would love someone. Because see, now she has seen a little serious side of him. Oh, this it's not like completely a fool that I used to think. वो poetry भी बोल सकता है और वो दूसरे की तारीफ भी कर सकता है. Sincerity भी है उसमें. So now changing a little bit. So now she genuinely wants to know what he thinks, what his idea of romance is, what his idea of love is. And in a very strange way, she's also making him choose on her behalf. कि तुम होते तो क्या करते? And in that moment, with all the sincerity that he has.
ठीक है, in this moment, I'll live my entire life.
Correct. Because this is the moment that I've got. I've got this intimate moment. I don't know whether I'll get it later or not in my life. But यही लम्हा जो मुझे मिला है, इसी लम्हे के अंदर, I will be the most romantic that I can be. Then he says, मैं तुम्हारे पास आता. अपनी नजरें तुम्हारी नजरों से हटाए बगैर. ऐसे ही तुम्हें देखती से फिर तुम्हारी आंखें भी मेरी आंखों में होती, तुम्हारे हाथ मेरे हाथों में, तुम्हारी सांसें मेरी सांसों, और हवाओं की पालकी पे बैठा, पत्तियों की सरसराहट में लिपटा, ओस की झील में डूब कर भीगा, एक खामोश लम्हा चुपके से आके तुम्हारे कानों में कहता कि क्या कहता, पल भर के लिए कोई हमें
प्यार कर ले, झूठा ही सही.
Again you see that little poetic side of Sanju that comes in, that he is a lover, he is a poet, he can say these things also. And this is not a dialogue from an old film, it's not taken from anywhere, it's a genuinely fresh.
If it were, I would have identified that by now.
So it's sincere. What I'm trying to say is that even though it is little high funda language and high funda poetry types for Sanju's character, but he's an advertising agency guy, he's a copywriter. It's not that unbelievable for him to speak these lines.
I want to take a little pause here and ask you that you have used this version of a line that is
हवाओं की पालकी पे बैठा.
Yeah, you've written हवा की पालकी पे बैठा, and this is in Mufasa's Hindi trailer. Shah Rukh is saying that. Matlab, you have no idea how much I love Shah Rukh, and he's saying a line line that you've written after so many years?
Lion King.
I've not seen that movie, sorry.
Shame on you. Lion King Hindi, everybody must see. It's a great film. In Hindi, the songs are outstanding. Shah sir has dubbed fantastically. Aryan has done a great job. I'm just going to plug it. It's outstanding. You must see it.
You can plug it. You are coming and talking about Mufasa here only. Your first interview is happening here. I'm not asking you to bring Shah sir, but please, you are doing this.
I will be. Yes, I will. I will be there.
So I had asked this question, कैसे fans है यार तुम्हारे? किसी को नहीं पता चला कि तुमने कहाँ से उठाई है ये line. When I was writing for this, I had made so many pointers for मेरे अर्क शादी है. उस टाइम मुफासा का ट्रेलर नहीं आया था. But then in between that and मुफासा का ट्रेलर आया और आज जब हम रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं, I was like ये इधर से है. So it's kind of bringing a full circle, which is also in Mufasa, circle of life.
What is common between these things? The common thing is that I have written it. So like I said that जो दिल की राह पे चलता है वो दुनिया बदल सकता है can also become पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त. The same way हवाओं की पालकी पे सवार एक लम्हा, वही हवाओं की पालकी पे उड़ती हुई एक खुशबू. It can become that. I don't own these words, but I own this expression. This is how I express. This is how I write. Yeah, you will find these things and hopefully many more.
Yeah, I love it. When you write for him, actually I think he writes only for Shah Rukh in his mind. Is that correct? You write with Shah Rukh in your head, don't you?
I write for myself in my mind, but the closest actor to what is going on in my mind is Shah Rukh sir because he owns up every single line. I always think that I am performing when I'm writing. That's the only way to write, I think. If any other writer is saying other way, then I think they're lying. The truth is that you write for yourself. You write as if you are performing these lines. Then only they become natural. Then only they become authentic. Like, look at the stuff that I've written is poems. It's complicated, difficult words also. In ABCD 2, there's a song that starts with Re Gazaro mein aag hai jitni. It is high Urdu it is. But it looks natural, it looks fine because it's natural for me. I would say things like this. So unless your writing becomes a reflection of who you are, an author needs to be authentic. An author needs to have authority on a subject. Authority and authenticity, that's what makes you an author. Otherwise, you're not an author.
Very nice. And here is the answer. BT Dubs. I'll plug this link over there when I tweet about it. Moving on to the song. This is the first song where both the actors are singing.
Sanju and Rohit.
But you have chosen to have two different playback singers for these actors.
Yeah.
Why was that choice made?
Sanjay sir was very clear in this mind that one actor should have one voice in the film. Now, that's not possible because he can't sing his own song. So, dialogue voice and the song voice is going to be different. We have already made that compromise that the person is not singing their songs themselves. But at least it should be one playback singer for one. The actor doesn't speak in three voices. One voice coming from the songs is not speaking for three actors. According to him, that's not correct. I remember there was a whole discussion because this song is more suited the way it was originally conceived. By the way, the final version of the song is not how Pritam had conceived this song.
Now I want to hear that song. What is
So
this?
I'll tell you, yeah. So one day, Sanjay sir called me and he said, Pritam is coming at my house for a music sitting and you come and hear this song. In that meeting, Jeet was not there. Only Pritam was there. I went to his house and Pritam was sitting down on the floor with his guitar. And Sanjay sir looked at me and he said, you know what, Pritam has made this one song. I don't like it much, but you hear it. Let me see what you react to.
Was that reverse psychology?
I said, okay, fine. Pritam took the guitar and he started singing in Bengali. Amar Priyatama, ekhane asho. Like that. And very soft, very romantic, very beautiful. And I told Sanjay sir, I said, I love this song. And Sanjay sir said, okay, you are passed in the exam. I was only testing you. I told you it's a bad song just to test you. Of course, it's a great song. I love this song. And we are going to take this song in our film. So, Pritam, play again. And he played again. So, then he said that we have to present this song to Adi. Can we do a dummy lyrics? I wrote the dummy. I said, what should I keep in mind in writing dummy? And Pritam said that it's a very soft song. There is nothing which is going to be harsh and choose words which can be whispered.
That's a great brief to give.
Yeah, great brief. So, Pritam said, choose words that can be whispered. So, I wrote, Tumse hai itna सनम सांसों में मेरी रहना सनम.
That's beautiful, man.
That's what I wrote. That's a dummy lyrics. Everybody loved it. And the whole song was supposed to be whispery. And then Javed Saab wrote amazing lyrics on that. Resham si hai. We took the song to Sonu Bhai. Sonu Bhai loved it. And he said, बहुत अच्छा गाना है, Resham si. It's very nice and very soft. And when Adi sir heard our first programming version of the song, Adi sir said, nahi, it cannot be like this. You are going to go to Switzerland to shoot this song. And that's the time we got to know that we are going to Switzerland in this film.
Wow.
Oh, अच्छा. अब ना भी नहीं बोल सकते. He said, Sanjay, pahad, khula asman. The song has to be bright. It cannot be resham si hai. You can't do that. You have to go resham si hai ye hawaein sanam. It's all bright and open. The singing has to be open. So we were like, okay, हमको ये था, हमें क्या मालूम है म्यूजिक के बारे में. आदि सर बोल रहे हैं, करेक्ट ही बोल रहे हैं. We went to the studio and Pritam, he made the song brighter. Then Sonu Bhai was called to sing. And he came and he heard the new track and he was like, अरे क्या कर दिया तुम लोगों ने, गाना बकवास कर दिया.
What are you saying?
He said, तुमने बर्बाद कर दिया.
He got upset?
He got upset. We knew Sonu Bhai very well because he had sung all the 9 songs of our previous film. Tere Liye Ka all songs he had sung. So he was quite well known to us and we were all friends. And Sonu Bhai said that, अरे यार प्रीतम क्या कर दिया तूने ये गाना. पहले जो उसकी गाने की जो सॉफ्टनेस थी, उसकी जो ब्यूटी थी, उसकी जो खूबी थी, वो तो चली गई पूरी. अब ये ब्राइट, ये तो कोई भी गा सकता है. Anybody can sing. Why should you have Sonu Nigam for this song? And then मतलब हमने मनाया उनको. हमने कहा नहीं नहीं सोनू भाई प्लीज, ये बहुत अच्छा गाना है और ये ऐसे शूट होगा, ये ब्राइट पहाड़ों में तो हम सॉफ्ट नहीं कर सकते, अजीब लगेगा. ऐसे करके उनको कन्विंस किया हमने और फिर सोनू भाई ने गाया बहुत अच्छा. स्पेशली दैट पार्ट, द हुक पार्ट ऑफ इट. जागे जागे अरमा है जागे जागे हम. It's very sexy and soft.
Yeah.
Now in Antara, Udit ji is going to come for Uday Chopra's voice. It's a dream sequence that Uday is singing in his dream. Udit ji is all bright and fantastic and we were Smiley. Yeah, and he came to the studio and I can confess this today. We were like, shit, this song is going to become rubbish because this is such a Sonu Nigam song. How can we have Udit ji in this song? It'll be very weird. That's what we thought, okay? And I'm not joking. Udit ji is sitting right next to me and rehearsing. My heart was sinking. Cut to 5 minutes later, Udit ji is on mic. And he goes and he sings. And it's sounding like I literally got transported to Switzerland. In my mind, I'm seeing pahad. I am seeing sunlight. I am seeing winds. I'm seeing all of that just with that man's voice on the mic. So it's unbelievable that we have these preconceived notions about songs, about music, about their effect, their impact. Some people are just blessed. Some people are just amazing with what they do. And Udit ji sang fantastic. It was great. And
I love that Antara.
And it's Udit ji ka style, na?
I love it. In fact, before this Antara starts, there's a refrain of एक लड़की की तुम्हें.
That's just a subtle reminder to the audience that अब इनकी कहानी शुरू होगी.
हाँ. And I love the way Udit ji के voice पे जो उदय ने perform किया. Full romantic. Like I have to give him 100 marks for that.
Yeah, so we are all fans of Udit Narayan ji and big fans of Sonu Bhai also because they're such great performers. KK also, I miss him a lot because I think KK was phenomenal singer. When we were in Switzerland, we couldn't believe our luck. I'm getting to shoot a song which Udit Narayan has sung. Uday is like, oh my God, he's sung for Shahrukh, he's sung for everybody and I'm performing on his singing. So it's genuinely out of happiness and love. And you see that brightness on Uday's face when he's singing. Absolutely. He's so happy to perform on it. It's a big deal. I think that's one thing that today's actors don't have. Nothing is a big deal for them.
And the lip sync thing is also like slowly fading away, which I hate.
Prominent lip sync. Yeah, people are doing lip sync just for the sake of it. Like halka phulka आधे मन से lip sync करते हैं.
Very good with lip sync, how Rishi Kapoor used to be.
Chintu sir की तो बात ही अलग है यार. He was a great guy. Outstanding. Young people who are coming in the industry, na, they should also learn from previous actors and they should see confidence के साथ. You can own up a song by correct lip sync, by literally singing. You can't lip sync, you can't fake, you can't be silent when you're lip syncing, you have to sing it. You have to actually sing the song. And unless you have respect for music, unless you have respect for the writing, unless you have respect for the singing, unless you have respect for all of the people who have worked hard to make that song, you won't be able to do it. You can't fake it. You have to have it. We used to take care of these things and we were conscious of the lyrics and we used to try and justify the lyrics in the songs. Now today's time, I have written a song which is for Race 2, Be-Intaha. It's a very popular song. Be-Intaha, very popular song. Atif Aslam has sung it. In which there is a line that Makhmali Raat ki hona subah. Line is Makhmali Raat ki hona subah and it's broad daylight. Broad daylight mein Saif Ali Khan is walking and there 200 people must have been there at the shoot. Creative producer is Jay Shivakramani of that film. So I asked Jayu, I said, Jayu, ये line तेरे को पता है ये मखमली रात की होना सुबह. And he's like, अंतरा कोई नहीं सुनता है. Like, अंतरा कोई नहीं सुनता है. अंतरे में क्या है? कुछ नहीं.
Sir, you take that back, sir.
You know, वरुण ग्रोवर का बहुत अच्छा जोक है कि अगर आप किसी का कत्ल करो तो उसकी लाश को सेकंड अंतरे में छुपा दो.
मैं आजकल songs ही नहीं सुनती हूँ. I think the last good album that I heard is not even a Hindi album. It's a Telugu album जिसके lyrics मुझे समझ नहीं आते हैं. लेकिन वो गाने मैं सुनती हूँ, कोई anxiety मेरी शांत हो जाती है. So toward the absolute end, Rohit and Anjali are about to kiss. And you hear Sanjay screaming, Anju, which is an audio cue. I have observed that Adi sir uses these audio cues a lot in his films to distract the audience, to shift attention, and you have done the same here.
Since you reminded me of that shot, I must tell you that the shot of Uday, like it cuts to a shot of Uday standing under a tree and nothing has happened to him and he's just pretending कि मुझे लग गई, चोट लग गई. That was actually the last shot to be canned for मेरे यार की शादी है. The okay take of that on audio has it's a wrap. That's the last shot.
Guys, shot Switzerland एकदम end में.
Yeah, Switzerland was the last thing to go. We finished everything in India before Jaipur, Gateway of India, the 2 sets, everything we finished here and then we went to Switzerland.
So you had to prove your merit on location in India. Then you were rewarded to go to Switzerland. What would I give to go to Switzerland? Damn it.
जिंदगी में पहली बार I was on a plane and I went to Switzerland. It's unbelievable.
So Sanjay pretends that he's hurt back of the Beetle. He's pretending like, अरे ये गाड़ी पीछे क्यों जा रही है? Anju. And then cut to he's sleeping. He hears a voice and he says, सोने दो ना रिया. How did you plan that? इसके बाद मेरे को ऐसा ये करना है.
The idea to bring Riya in the second half was also Adi sir's idea that we should bring her and we should give a mind-blowing entry to her. वो आएगी और all the men in the house will be चौदवी का चांद हो या आफ्ताब. It was a big aha moment for the audience and it worked. It worked in the film also that she comes and immediately everybody is taken with her. वो कहते हैं ना, if you want to make other person love you, then make them jealous.
Does it really work?
I don't know. It makes a good scene and it makes a good story. So
obviously all the men in the house are besotted by our Riya. But एक थोड़ा सा ऐसा उसका रिया का है ना, she's like मैं इनसे मिल चुकी हूँ और इनसे भी, and that is when she's saying it to the women in the house. Yeah. Like मैं इनसे भी मिल चुकी है, as if she doesn't like them already. And I'm like, रिया क्या कर रही हो? ये उसका परिवार है, ऐसे तो मत करो.
Yeah, that's Riya being Riya.
But what I love is that the women in the house, they are so supportive of Sanjay. They are like, अच्छा यही मेरी छोटी बहन है जिसका तुम्हारे सिवा कोई नहीं और तुम्हारा इसके सिवा. It is so cute. They have already accepted Riya as Sanjay's girlfriend. They're like, नहीं यार इतनी प्यारी है, देखो अरे they are together. Wow, so nice.
Yeah, they're happy for Sanjay.
They're very happy
That's
for
what
Sanjay.
People who love you, they are like that. They'll be happy of your choices.
And she plants this story that they have been going around for 8 months. So I was like, क्या सोच के मयूर ने लिखा ये?
नहीं कुछ नहीं सोचा था. Without any thought.
Speaking of Riya speaking, Bipasha ka voice changes in the second half at some point.
When we were dubbing the film, Bipasha had never dubbed for herself before this film.
Oh.
Yeah, because earlier movies, she was voiced by
Mona Shetty.
Her number is saved in my phone as Dubbing Queen Mona. And Mona is this fantastic voice artist. And she was the voice of Bipasha actually. But we decided that we will go with Bipasha with her own voice. So you are saying Bipasha has 2 voices in the film.
Yes, because I think so after a point, uska voice change ho jata hai.
Let me reveal, there are 3 voices.
What are you saying? I only got 2! Damn it! I'm slipping!
That's good I am when I'm dubbing. So we had Bipasha, we dubbed with her. I dubbed the whole film with her. But there were 2 scenes in which we wanted corrections and we wanted it to be done. Mona came and because she was the voice of Bipasha, so she dubbed one scene. But I asked them to retain the performance of Bipasha. So that's why it is close and that's why it works.
I couldn't figure it was Mona, though I know her voice so well.
Because Mona has matched Bipasha's voice and she's also matched her performance. I forgot who was the second dubbing artist who we used and I have used all 3 of their voices, but Anuj Mathur sir being the audiographer and being the fantastic genius
technician
that he is, the way he treated the voices and the way we dubbed and all of that, nobody, I mean, because you know me and because you've worked and because you've done voicing and dubbing before and you've been in studios with me, so you can probably pick up, but a common person can never know which scene is Bipasha's voice and which scene it is not her voice.
Even in Om Shanti Om, the majority of Deepika's performance is recreated by Mona.
Yes, it was her voice.
I think there's only one scene where it's Deepika's voice, and when we discuss that film, I'll point it out.
We'll talk about it when we make an episode on Om Shanti Om.
It will not be one episode. Like this episode is a saga. Imagine what would that be. So Riya says she's come to help Sanjay, but Sanjay thinks it's a bad idea. Why does he think it's a bad idea?
Because he's trying to break this wedding and get Anjali in his life. And imagine one girl comes and she's already convinced everybody that Sanjay already has a girlfriend. So he thinks that she's taking him away from his goal. So he's like, "Arey kya kare? You've just ruined everything that I did all these days." But then she tells him that no, it's not like that, idiot. What other people think is not important. What Anjali thinks is important. And if you want to play with Anjali's mind, then you have to make her jealous.
Riya is very smart.
Which is Adi Chopra actually, who's very smart, who's writing that character.
Why are you doing to me, man. Why? Every time I like something, you're like, it's Adi Chopra. Then I pitch myself, then you're like, why are you pitching yourself to him?
Adi sir, even though he's not credited for this film, he is the guy who took all the important creative calls. And I have to give him that credit.
I know you do, and that's great. Give credit to get credit. That's what you say all the time.
Always. Yep.
Me liking something that actually belongs to Adi Chopra's creation is like totally coincidental.
Yeah, but you should know.
I should know, obviously I should know, but it's just that
Your podcast is all about revealing the hidden facts, right?
it is, and it is also about celebrating artists and creative people and the writers and the technicians and the directors. It's all about that. Why do you think I mentioned their names in the beginning? Because it's very important for me as an artist.
Yeah, that's nice of you. That's good of you. I approve of your podcast.
ओह आपके चरण कहाँ है? मैं कब से आपके अप्रूवल का वेट कर रही थी. जीवन मेरा धन्य हो गया इसके बाद. Again, I felt that उदय का लाइन यहाँ पे ADR किया है. लाइन कुछ और थी and he said something else in the ADR. मेरी बैचलर पार्टी से रोहित को इतना नुकसान नहीं हुआ होगा जितना तुम्हारी स्टूपिड हरकत से हुआ है मेरा. Instead, he said जितना तुम्हारी स्टूपिड हरकत ने किया है मेरा.
Whatever is comfortable at the time of dubbing. So see, Uday also has this problem that he speaks very fast when he's performing.
He also speak very fast.
Yeah. So when we were shooting, at that time I was constantly telling Uday that you see, go little slower in your delivery of the dialogue because जब dub करेंगे ना तो बहुत problem हो जाएगा. So Uday was like, "Arey nahi yaar, I am only going to dub na. So if I can speak now, I can speak later also."
No, there, sir.
Yeah. And then when he came to dub and he was trying to recreate his performance, he was like, "Oh my God, why did I say it like this? Why did I speak so fast? Why did I do this?" Which happened in Doom also. So
we have to discuss Doom also. God damn it.
Yeah. Sometimes for performance sake, even if the line is not exactly the correct word or whatever, it's different from the pilot track or whatever. If it is better performance in dub, then we'll go with that. Show off. Abby, you lied about that your podcast is about real things and bringing out the behind the scenes stories and everything. Actually, your podcast is about telling people how well researched you are and how well you know your cinema.
Thank you.
It's just a show off. It's a show off. This whole podcast.
Camera. Where is the show?
It's not awesome Podmix, it's awesome Abby. That's what you want to call it.
Thank you. I'd like that.
This was not a compliment.
I choose to take it as a compliment. So Ria's argument is that Sanjay learnt about his feelings because he got to know that she's getting married to somebody else. The way it affected Sanjay, maybe it'll affect Anjali in the same manner.
Correct. And she's right about it. Because she says, तुम्हें कब पता चला कि तुम्हें अंजलि से प्यार है? जब उसकी शादी किसी और से तय हो गई तब. जब तुम्हें पता चला कि उसे किसी और से प्यार है. तो जब अंजलि को पता चलेगा कि तुम्हें किसी और से प्यार है, तो फिर
like, oh, Janu. When they call each other Janu, I don't find it cringe.
Because you already know the story and you know that it's dynamics. Yeah. Because they're cute. They're being cute and nice. They're not they're not being sincere about it. They're just having fun.
They're being cheeky. So when Anjali comes and these two are already like discussing all of this, तो मुझे नहीं पता कि उसने कुछ सुना कि नहीं, which I'm assuming उसने नहीं सुना कुछ. ये सब तो discussion चल रहा है इसका. Because she comes immediately after that.
She comes towards the last part of it. There was a very nice shot where two of them are hugging. When they hear Sanju and they separate and between the two of them you can see Anjali. And there's a very nice story about this shot also. The fun thing is that Bipasha is taller than Uday. In film, we have Uday little taller to Bipasha. So Apple Box, Patla, Ulti-Pulti, whatever is available at that time and required. We said, Arey, give Uday Baba some Ulti-Pulti or something. His height has to be matched with Bipasha or little higher. And Uday was like, I love cinema. I love it. He's like, how we fool the audience. You're making me taller than Bipasha. Wow, I love it. So we were doing that, and then so in the script also it is written that they hear Sanju in Anjali's voice and they unhug. So when the unhug was happening, we did couple of takes of that. So what happens is that pre-roll, they're already hugging.
Correct.
So it will be roll camera, roll sound, and they are hugging. And on action, Sanjay sir will say, unhug. And they will unhug and will reveal the girl, right? So every time that take was being taken, Uday was hugging Bipasha. And then Uday said to us that this is the most difficult shot of my life, that I have to unhug Bipasha. I cannot let go of that hug. And we all had a great laugh about it. It was hilarious.
Uday has worked with Bipasha twice.
Dhoom 2
Yeah,
and
this one.
Mere Yaar Ki Shaadi Hai.
And he's had a gala time.
Because Bipasha is such a fun person to work with. She's amazing as a performer. She's amazing as a person on the set, as an actor. She's so helpful. She's so good. I had made a big certificate. On that, we had signatures from the entire unit and cast and everything. And this is a certificate that is given to so and so for being the friendliest person. So for being the Yaro Ka Yaar on the sets of Mere Yaar Ki Shaadi Hai. So it was something that I created and everybody loved that idea. And we decided amongst the direction team, we sat together and we said we should give it to Bipasha because she has not troubled us at all in this film and she's been so nice. And anyways, Uday, Jimmy and Tulip, they had great roles in the film, an extended cameo, and she was still doing it very sportingly and she enjoyed. She used to tell us that during the shoot that this is the film I've enjoyed making the most. I've enjoyed shooting this film. I've had so much fun. So on the day of Bipasha's last shoot was at Gateway of India and we were shooting that, the climax ka scene. When we packed up that scene at the end of it, I wanted to give that certificate on behalf of the whole unit to Bipasha. So I went to Uday. Uday said, of course, Bipasha, of course we should give it. And he signed it. And I went to Tulip and she said, of course. And she signed it. And then I went to Jimmy and I said, Jimmy sir, we are giving the award to the friendliest person on the set to Bipasha.
Was Jimmy sir offended?
He was offended. Right. Jimmy Shergill was, तो क्या मैं यार नहीं हूँ? Have I troubled you? Am I a bad person? Then I had to sit with Jimmy sir and I told him, नहीं Jimmy पाजी ऐसी बात नहीं है. It's you are the hero in the film, yaar. What is Bipasha getting? Yeah? Let her have this, it'll be when he's like, okay, I'll sign it and all. But you must acknowledge that I'm also very friendly and very good to work with. I said, of course you are. But it's a meaningless piece of paper.
No,
but it became
so much heart,
it became such a big deal. I'm sure Bipasha still has it somewhere.
And if she listens to this, Bipasha, please can you just take a photograph and then put it up on Twitter and tag Mayur so that we can all see it.
So that we all know that you still have it.
Yeah. I want to see it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I never got to work with Bipasha again after this one film, but I would love to. She's fantastic.
Never say never. And we'll make sure she doesn't say no.
No, 100%. Of course, something we will do. Definitely, I'll do something.
Anjali is already a little discomforted with Ria's presence in the house.
Yeah.
She's like, Sanju, मुझे तुमसे कुछ बात करनी है. And she's like, make it fast, which is a line from मैंने प्यार किया song. आजा शाम होने आई.
Make it fast. नहीं ऐसा कुछ deliberate नहीं है. ऐसे कुछ accident हो जाते हैं.
So the next scene, he's having this whole conversation with Anjali about how he met Ria पिछले साल कपूर साहब की पार्टी में जिनकी बहुत बड़ी ad agency है. In the background, Gayatri auntie is doing something because she has to come on a queue. मतलब deliberate wide shot रखा है आपने कि भाई आपकी timing होगी आंटी आपको आना है इस time पे. She says Ria is a sweet girl. So warm as a mother.
दो reason है उसके. एक तो ये कि I loved Neena ji. And I would like to put Neena Kulkarni in every frame that I could because she was a fantastic actress and a great presence on screen.
Warm as a mother.
So warm. Her casting was like completely my thing. Like I had fought for her casting and I said, no, I want her only in the film.
For her casting? How come?
Yeah. It's nice that she's working in the bin and at a correct time. So what happens is the scene becomes very natural and organic. It's not like you're cutting and entering, making her enter and all, and the illusion of cinema is dropped for a minute there. So we had Neena ji doing things, and she being this fantastic actor, understanding exactly when to come in frame. She managed the timing so well.
These two people are bickering. She's like, why didn't you tell me about Ria before? So he's like, तुम रोहित से मिली थी, तुमने बताया था. She's like, शादी कर रही हूँ, बताया ना. So he's like, मैं शादी करूंगा तो बता दूंगा. तुम इससे शादी करोगे, इस रिया से? He's like, क्यों, क्या खराबी है इसमें? Smart है, sexy है, सुंदर है. So what? She's not the right girl for you. He's like, क्यों का क्या मतलब क्यों? Again, that's a line from मैंने प्यार किया. And now you'll say that ये तो subconsciously.
नहीं, subconscious. Yeah. क्यों का क्या मतलब क्यों?
She's like, तुम इससे शादी नहीं कर सकते तो नहीं कर सकते. मैंने कह दिया, बस. बाकी तुम्हें जो करना है वो करो. Again, she's being illogical, but then उसका प्यार भी is coming right in the forefront.
I'll tell you about this scene. There's again a very interesting backstory to this scene. Before we shot this scene, Tulip was cast in this role and then we had extended readings with her. We had a acting coach for her, Paresh Parekh sir, who worked with her for a month or so and did all the scenes. And she became very good. I'll tell you very honestly, she became very good. But this scene was very critical. And Sanjay sir said that I want to do this scene also in one shot. So this scene is also single shot. C-shaped trolley. We had an arc of the trolley and that's how C and then a long, like it's a hockey stick tracks. I was also very worried about because Tulip has to hold the whole scene. This is the only scene where she has to say a lot of lines and hold the whole scene in one shot. So I requested Adi sir that she should be prepared for this scene. So Adi said, okay, call her. We'll do a rehearsal in my office. So Adi sir, I and Tulip, we gathered in Adi sir's cabin. And Adi sir has rehearsed that scene with her. Okay, so I was playing Uday and she was playing herself and Adi sir was the director in that rehearsal. I cannot forget Adi sir. He's a brilliant director. How he understands what to tell a particular actor to get the performance. So when she was moving around, and Tulip is a very sophisticated and graceful girl. And when she was doing it, she was like lid closed and I did not know to make her open up and be like really loud and, use her body, use her arms, use all of that.
And be jealous of the fact that your friend has another friend. Yeah. That is the whole crux of the scene.
How do you bring that out? Tulip as a person is not the kind of person who will ever be jealous or will have any negative things. She's a very sweet person. It's an emotion that she doesn't know only. So how will she do it? And Adi sir cracked it. He told Tulip that, you are doing it wrong. Tulip, you don't have to do it like you do or like your friends behave. Observe Bai in your house and how she comes and how she moves around. So your body has to be as loose. So you remember how a working woman would work. See, Tulip's performance is a little bit louder in this scene. Uncharacteristic of her character in throughout the film. I used the same brief for Happy New Year when I was rehearsing with Deepika because Deepika is also very graceful. She couldn't say dance. She would always say dance, Easy लगता है मोहिनी का dance.
Easy लगता है मोहिनी का dance.
No, she could not say it like that. She was very graceful. So she would say easy लगता है मोहिनी का dance. And I have literally written on a piece of paper and given her that it is EG. EG लगता है मोहिनी का dance. So I have written DENSE. So I explained to Deepika that it has to be dense. Like somebody's dense in their mind like that it is. EG लगता है मोहिनी का dance. That way you have to speak. And I gave the same brief to Deepika. I said that your body language has to be of a working girl and not of this sophisticated model. It has to be ungraceful. Mohini was not really her characteristic at all. We had to really make her into something else for that. That's the only scene that I rehearsed with Deepika. I carried Adi's brief to Tulip into Happy New Year. So that's the backstory of this scene.
I have heard Happy New Year narration a bajillion times.
Yeah, you were assisting me that time.
And your performance of Mohini is etched in my memory. I can do it in my sleep. I know it so well.
Anyway, we'll talk about it if we do an episode on Happy New Year.
We will do an episode on that. Anjali is totally jealous. He says, if you don't want to see her, I'll shift her in my room. So she's like, are you nuts? That is by far Mayur Puri's favorite thing to say to anybody.
Are you nuts?
I get why Anjali reacts like that. If I were in her place, I would also react like that, definitely. And Sanjay says, I may be nuts, but you are jealous.
I'm nuts, but you're jealous.
Yeah. She's like, मैं क्यों जलने लगी and all of that. And he's like, क्योंकि अब तक सिर्फ तुम मेरी दोस्त थी, अब वो भी है. She's like, don't. उसे कभी मेरे साथ
compare मत करना.
I love that jealousy. I love that khabardar. You're just mine and I don't want to share you with anybody else. Like you said, it's totally uncharacteristic of her.
That's the first indication to the audience that, from her side, there is feelings for Sanju also. Mine both phones are on.
Like you had said, all the men in the house were going, Chaudhary ka chand ho ya aftab ho.
For Riya.
हाँ. And she's doing this catwalk. And Rohit says, अच्छी चाल है. That is so deliberate because she's doing a catwalk and he's coming and says, अच्छी चाल है.
He's saying that to Sanjay.
Yeah, कि चाल तो अच्छी है मगर
बात नहीं बनेगी.
So I don't understand why does Rohit want to be this snarky at this point. Abhi he's like, Abhi I'll have fun. I'll fuck his happiness.
I mean, they are in a competition. It's a one-upmanship ka game.
Also, she says कि please teach me how you make your cheese omelette. ये संजय ना हमेशा किचन में मुझसे लड़ पड़ता है. So she's like, तुम्हारे किचन में या उसके? She's like, किचन तो एक ही है. बॉम्बे में एक घर में एक किचन मिल जाए
वही काफी है.
Which is so true.
She doesn't know that they live together.
And आप लोगों ने सेट भी इतना बड़ा बनाया है पूरा.
It was one of the biggest sets and it was the biggest air-conditioned floor in Film City at that time. And Mere Yaar Ki Shaadi was the first film to be shot there. Like the entire set, I still remember Bombay mein generators nahi bache the. We had lit up the whole set because we decided that we might shoot day scene, night scene, anytime, anything. So Sanjay told Sunil Patel, the cameraman, that I want to have that flexibility. So he had lit up the whole set, that whole entire interior house, Haveli ka set. It was lit up in such a way that at the drop of your hat, like in 15 minutes, we could turn day into night, night into day, whatever. That much choice we had. So for that, that 11 generators were put, and it's those times are 2001. So in Bombay there were no more generators left. All the generators were on our set. This was being shot simultaneously because I used to deal with Mr. Bansali's production for Deena Ji's dates because she was in both movies, Deena Pathak's dates. For me, it was like, how can it be so big and all? But Sharmishta Roy and Adi sir, they were very, no, this is a house interior. This is how it looks. It's fine. There's no big deal.
I love it. मतलब काश ऐसा बड़ा घर हो मेरा यार. कितना बड़ा घर. Oof. Like amazing. On top of that, the convenience that you could shoot day and night at any point. The convenience that the production is giving you. कि करो.
But I did a very interesting thing. There's a big staircase. Under that staircase on the other side is where we had made the executive dining. So everybody could sit together and eat meals together. So what I did is I printed a very big poster of the entire family tree. That who's Devin Verma, who's Alok Nath, who's Deena Pathak, and what is their relationship with each other with their photographs in get-up of the character. And I made a whole chart and I had put it right above that table. So every time we would sit for meals, entire cast would sit together and they could immediately understand who's doing what. In 2 days, everybody knew that chart by heart.
And then you get also na कि okay, this is who I have to play. Like it's a good refresher in the brain.
That's why it's so natural in the film. You see, it doesn't look like forced relationships. You know that it's very real. That reflects.
I love it. It's very nice. So Anjali is like कि तुम क्यों हंस रहे हो? रोहित he's like नहीं, मुझे रिया वो किस्सा सुना रही थी कि एक बार वो बाथरूम में फंस गई थी and Sanjay had to break the door to just get her out and she was just in her towel. अब भी उसको और झटका लग रहा है. Coming to Vellum's reunion. It's Vellum's reunion 2002. Winners' name include 1988 Rohit and Chandni, which is from Chandni. Then 1989 Biren and Pooja,
Which is Lamhe.
1990 is Rahul and Kiran, which is Dar. 1991 is Raj and Simran, which is DDLJ. 1992 is Rahul and Nisha.
Yes.
Dil to pagal hai. 1993 is Aryan and Megha, which is Mohabbatein. Then 1994 to 1998 is Sanjay and Anjali, which is your Mere Yaar Ki Shaadi hai. 1999 is Aditya and Suhani, which is Sathya. 2000 is Raj and Tina, which is Mujhse Dosti Karoge. But 2001 is Rajiv and Anu. Are they Anjali's older sister and brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were the characters. But this is all Sharmishta Roy. This is her genius. Easter eggs.
छुपाया है उन्होंने, लेकिन I love it. Sharmishta ma'am, great job. It took me a little while to see everything.
She's in New York, I think, and we should send this episode to her because I don't think anybody in 22 years has noticed this. You're the first person to notice this, but this is Sharmishta's genius. She did it.
Did I not tell you I'm a big fan of the film? मेरी जिंदगी का रुख कुछ और होता, मेरी जिंदगी का दुख कुछ और होता अगर मैंने ये पिक्चर नहीं देखी होती तो.
करेक्ट. और सुख तो तेरी जिंदगी में है भी नहीं.
है भी नहीं, बताओ. So, मुझे लगा है कि ये लास्ट वाला जो नाम है ना, या तो ये अंजलि के ब्रदर इन लॉ एंड सिस्टर है या फिर इट्स अ फिल्म दैट वाज अबाउट टू गेट मेड व्हिच डिडंट गेट मेड.
It is because all these fictional names we have given, so one in the film ka real name also should be there.
But I'm very glad that you guys give Sharmishta that power to plant Easter eggs in the movie like this.
It's a very simple thing. Everybody thinks that it is their film when they are working on this kind of a project. It's made with a lot of love. It's made with a lot of care. And you feel that it's the most important thing in your life when you're working on it. That's the only way to make a good film. I think Sharmishta also owned it up that, no, this is my film. I should do what I want to do. Technicians had so much say and power in a setup like that. Today, you cannot imagine a producer of that stature and to have that kind of a camaraderie and friendship that you could tell them anything. We used to play cricket with Adi sir every Saturday afternoon. He used to bowl and he used to get really angry if we don't field well. He used to say, "Kya kar raha hai? Theek se fielding kar." और अगर उनकी बॉल पे चौका मार दिया तो he used to really get upset and all. This is what it was about filmmaking at that time. It was amazing.
Why I'm saying this? Because I have only seen this happen in a Star Wars film or a Star Wars series or a Marvel film or a Marvel series.
Yeah, Marvel Universe, we have a lot of callbacks and a lot of plants and Easter eggs, and Disney does that all the time. Yeah.
But to have it in a film, which is my Hindi film industry, I can tell you there are a lot of people on Twitter who want to ask Sharmishta Roy what all props she's put in Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge when the picnic setup is happening.
I'll tell you one more story about Sharmishta, which is amazing. This big set that we talked about, that set was being made and it was made for some 20 days. And I used to go on the sets when it was being painted. So Adi sir came once to make sure that the wall paint is in such a tone or color that it doesn't eat into the face light. We had all those creative and technical considerations to do. And Sharmishta is so experienced and smart and brilliant at her job that she would come once or twice and supervise. And the last 2 days before the shoot, Sharmishta would prop up the set. So the set was ready as per me. And I was in the office and Adi sir asked me that, you've not gone to the set today? So I said, no sir, the set is ready. Everything is fantastic and it's just propping up today. Sharmishta is coming to prop up. And Adi sir told me, do not miss it. Mayur, do not miss it. I know that you love making films. I know how much you love all the technical aspects of filmmaking. Please go. This is magic. What Sharmishta does in the last 24 hours or 48 hours before the shoot, the propping up of the set is the magic. You must go. So he let me go from the office, even though we had so much work in the office. I said, okay, fine. So I went and I sat with Sharmishta and we set up that whole Mehndi wala setup and all of that. One small thing, so much detailing. So I've spent a lot of time with Sharmishta on the propping and stuff like that. And what an experience. What an amazing woman she is. What a brilliant mind. Small things. Nobody will notice, but she'll do it. That's amazing.
I don't know if I should say this story, but one of the days on YRF Handle, they put up the picnic setups with the bay. Okay, and they used AI, and I'm so against using AI. So I got so upset that I went to DDLJ. I grabbed a screenshot of Shah Rukh and Kajol sitting by the lake with the picnic setup. I put that shot in the reply and I said, you don't need to use AI. It's already there in one of your films. After that, I didn't stop there. I went to Mohabbatein. I picked up another Adi Chopra film. I picked up another screenshot where...
You could have picked up Gazebo from Jage Jage also. There was a little picnic setup there also.
Yeah, but at that point in time, my thing was ki why is Aditya Chopra allowing AI to be used for this?
Adi sir is too big and his life is too important for these small things.
मेरा सर घूम गया तो मैंने आदित्य सर की पिक्चरें उठा के उनका ही स्क्रीनशॉट ग्रैब करके कि भाई इन द सॉन्ग हमको हमी से चुरा लो, there's a picnic setup, but obviously उसमें जुगल और किम, so they are there, but when they leave it's शाहरुख and ऐश्वर्या. तो पहले मैंने वो दोनों पिक्चर का स्क्रीनशॉट लिया और मैंने डाला and it was like you already have it, you don't need to recreate it with AI. Please do not do that. क्योंकि मेरा तो खून ही खौल जाता है, जानते हो सिनेमा को लेकर मैं कितनी पैशनेट हूँ. मुझे नहीं पता वो देख के कैसे रिएक्ट किया उन्होंने.
तेरे को ब्लॉक कर दिया होगा YRF के हैंडल ने.
I don't care. But I was like, यार तुम्हारे पास है ऑलरेडी, तुम क्या कर रहे हो?
It's okay. कोई बच्चा बेचारा वहाँ पे काम कर रहा होगा सोशल मीडिया टीम में, क्यों उसकी जॉब के पीछे पड़ी है?
हाँ, मैं उसकी जॉब के पीछे नहीं पड़ी, मैं बस बोल रही हूँ रिसर्च कर लो यार. तुम्हारे खुद के ओनर ऑफ यश राज ने पिक्चर बनाई है, इतना तो पता होना चाहिए तुम्हें.
Shall we come back to मेरे यार की शादी है?
So,
क्योंकि अब शादी होने वाली है.
नहीं, अभी तो आर्ग्यूमेंट है कि लाइफ इज नॉट अ डांस कॉम्पिटिशन.
ओके.
अब आ गए आपके सीन पे जो आप कब से डिस्कस करना चाह रहे थे.
हाँ.
I love this scene also because Rohit knows obviously she's a friend and she's not the girlfriend, and he says कि काश मेरी भी तुम्हारे जैसी कोई दोस्त होती. तो instantly like a reflex she says that is what everybody says in Bombay, and then she realizes that she's fumbled, and then she says I mean girlfriend. So then he says ये नाटक तुम मेरे सामने तो मत ही करो रिया. Like I know you're his friend. He's like काश मेरी भी तुम्हारे जैसी दोस्त होती. So she's like दोस्ती की है, निभानी तो पड़ेगी.
Hat tip to मैंने प्यार किया. Obviously, wherever I get an opportunity, I will smuggle in मैंने प्यार किया references in everything that I do.
And Suraj ji, you have to know, he's your biggest fan.
Yep.
Meet him someday. So the moment she says दोस्ती की है, निभानी तो पड़ेगी, Rohit is like
मैंने प्यार
किया. She's like तुमने देखी है 6 बार. I'm like हाँ, तो इतना एक्साइटेड होने की क्या जरूरत है, 6 बार देखी, हमने बहुत बार देखी है.
या मैंने 17 बार थिएटर में देखी और 40 बार VHS पे. This is only in the year of its release. उसके बाद कितनी बार देखी है वो तो अनगिनत.
और जो डिटेल्स मुझे मिली है उस पिक्चर में मयूर,
मैंने पहले 4 बार तो इसीलिए देखी थी कि वो पीछे पढ़ सकूं क्या लिखा है, you'll never get rich sitting around here. तो उसके लिए 3 बार तो देखी थी. हर बार मैं भूल जाता था वो नोटिस करना, बिकॉज पिक्चर में घुस जाता था इमोशन में, तो टू फॉरगेट कि वो पीछे क्या लिखा है. अरे यार रह गया, अगली बार फिर जाना पड़ेगा.
मेरे पास 2 पोस्टर है जो मुझे नहीं क्रैक हुए, बाकी मैंने सब क्रैक कर लिया, और 2 कैसेट्स है जिनके नाम नहीं मिले मुझे अभी तक.
कौन से सीन में
बताऊंगी, I'll tell you.
बता, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली I'll know.
वो इससे भी बड़ा पॉडकास्ट होगा. रोहित को नहीं लगता कि अंजलि और संजय शुड बी अ कपल. उसको नहीं लगता कि जिंदगी के बड़े फैसले
इन छोटी छोटी बातों से किए जाते हैं.
बट आई थिंक बहुत सारी चीजें होती है जो छोटी छोटी चीजों की वजह से बड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स बनती है. एज अ डॉक्टर रोहित ऐसा क्यों सोचता है?
But you know, the thing is that it was more a reaction to the movies. By the way, this is the second scene for which Adi complimented me when I wrote this scene, and he said that it's a very new scene. मयूर, ये बहुत नया सीन लिखा है तूने. उन्होंने, बहुत नया सीन लिखा. So it was a very new scene where the boy, despite the fact that apparently it looks like he's lost the competition, Sanjay and Anjali, they have won together as a couple and they have danced well and their chemistry is great. In any old film, that would have been it. The scene would have stopped. For the audience, that was enough. Now I have to bring back Rohit. He has to again be an important player in the game. Otherwise, the game won't work. His argument has to be very rock solid. And I used to always think कि क्या हम लोग फिल्मों के अंदर ये छोटी छोटी चीजों से दिखाते जो साथ में डांस कर लिया तो केमिस्ट्री हो गई. That means they are made for each other. What nonsense is this?
But small moments only big.
I know, but it was such a cliche. It was such a trope, right? So I said, I have to break that. I need to break it. And that's why he says it. And this is exactly what I think, that in life, big decisions should be made on who's more settled, who's better person, who will take care of me more, who's going to push me to become a better person. I believe in that. I believe in that Aristotle's theory that you should be with friends who make you better people, who don't love you. They love the potential in you. That's what Aristotle said 5,000 years ago. And I said, let me bring it as simply as I can. जिंदगी के बड़े बड़े फैसले इन छोटी छोटी बातों से तो नहीं किए जाते. अच्छे डांस पार्टनर्स, अच्छे लाइफ पार्टनर्स हो, जरूरी तो नहीं.
That I agree. But Riya says a very smart line here. Again, you'll be like, Adi sir, मेरे और तुम्हारे सोचने से क्या होता है? फर्क तो इस बात से पड़ता है कि अंजलि क्या सोचती है.
That's me. That's not Adi sir. That's me. I'm reiterating to the audience that I have still not told you as a writer. I have still not told you what Anjali wants. So be glued to your seats, because एक और बात है कि ये scene ना थोड़ा ठंडा scene है compared to all the rest of the scenes in second half. All the scenes have a lot of energy, drama, and this is a very ठंडा ठहराव because it's pre-climax. अभी climax आने वाला है. So ये ठंडे scene में ऐसा ना हो कि audience switch off हो जाए. I want to reiterate the fact that listen, I'm still telling this story and it is important and you don't fucking know what is going on in Anjali's mind. So keep watching this film. So it's that कि मेरे और तुम्हारे सोचने से क्या होता है. फर्क तो इस बात से पड़ता है कि अंजलि क्या सोचती है.
I love it because she's the only one who's concerned about what the woman wants. These two idiots are in love with this one woman और उस लड़की से कोई पूछ नहीं रहा है कि भाई तुम क्या चाहती हो.
Yeah, she's being practical also about it and she's being right. A woman who understands what consent is. उस वक्त कोई consent की बात भी नहीं करता था. But for me it was very important. The whole film is about consent. The whole film is about what the girl wants. The boys manipulate each other. They are never manipulating the girl and her feelings. मतलब कितना अच्छा लिखा है. कोई लिख के दिखा दे अभी ऐसी पिक्चर.
देखो मैं तुम्हें ही कॉम्प्लीमेंट कर रही थी. तुम्हें मुझे मतलब हद हो गई है. So like I love that there's a woman character who's just setting things straight in all these idiots' minds that listen. At the end of the day, it's about what she wants.
I have this kick that wisest things in my films should come from women characters. Also, that's purely a reflection of my life. All these great wisdom wala lines in my life have come from very strong women who are part of my life. It's come from them. So I always want women to have a strong voice in my films.
Now we come to Gayatri's Paranoia. She's going through a scrapbook kind of a thing that has Anjali's younger pictures and it has pictures of Sanjay. Right?
Yeah.
I'm right?
Yeah.
Because that's a great motivational tool for you to just say that why is she reminiscing the past?
Yeah. That scene is what triggers the climax. It triggers the last 10-15 minutes of the film.
Suddenly she is paranoid and she's like something will go wrong.
There is so much happiness in this house and I wanted to go into that dark territory and basically I want to motivate Sanjay leaving. To motivate that scene, I have to have something important. Gayatri is the name of my nani. That character is actually a little bit like my nani, who's very loving, very progressive, very amazing person, but at the same time, a little fatalist, a little believing in destiny and things like that. And she would say things like this. In today's day and age, if you see the film, you might say that he is suddenly unmotivated scene hai.
नहीं वो बुक वहीं पे है कैसे मोटिवेटेड नहीं है.
So I have seen this many times that a day before the wedding or 2 days before the wedding, the girl's parents, father or mother, they go through this little scary feeling that God, things should go fine. Hope nothing goes wrong. So I thought, again, it's a new scene. You've never seen a scene like this, that you're like, oh my God, everything is going fine. What if something goes wrong? You feel like that. And it's a very real feeling. And that's the reason probably everybody who's seen the film has never brought out this thing. That's a very sudden scene, actually. It's a peripetia of a very different kind, that the suddenly story goes into a different direction. Everything was going fine. Sab log aa gaye, everything. And she's saying, just feeling this fear that what if something goes wrong, कितने लोगों का दिल टूट सकता.
Like now that you're telling me it was to motivate Sanjay leaving, but in my mind it was like, is she saying that because she's not giving away her daughter to Sanjay?
I'm not sure of that.
बिकॉज मेरे दिमाग में वही आया कि वो इतना प्यार करती है संजय को, बिकॉज व्हेन संजय अराइव्स इन द सीन ही इज लाइक कि अरे
I promise you everything will be fine.
ही जोकिंगली सेज दैट आप एक काम करो, आप उसकी शादी मुझसे करा दो, एंड शी इज लाइक अगर ये हो सकता तो मुझसे ज्यादा
खुशी किसी को नहीं होती.
तो आलोकनाथ कैरेक्टर इज सेइंग कि इस पगले के हाथ में अपनी बेटी देख के खुश हो जाती तुम, तो शुक्र मनाओ कि
रोहित जैसा अच्छा दामाद मिला है तुम्हें.
आई एम लाइक हाय हाय प्लीज मेरे संजय के बारे में ऐसे मत बोलो.
Because वो लड़की का बाप है, he is going to think about what is practically best for the girl, and Rohit is practically the better choice. And he also says इस पगले के हाथ में very lovingly. Yeah, इस पगले के हाथ से also भाई ये तो घर का ही है, इसको कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं. It's that kind of a thing. That moment is actually a huge reminder to Sanjay कि मैं क्या करने चला. इन लोगों ने मुझे सिर्फ प्यार दिया, इस परिवार ने सिर्फ मेरा ख्याल रखा है. They have given me so much, and what girlfriend is saying now that if I say that I want to marry and if I create a big scene, सबका दिल टूट जाएगा. इतना हैप्पी मोमेंट है, और फर्स्ट टाइम ही गेट्स दैट बैगेज ऑन हिज हेड दैट ओह शिट आई वाज रॉन्ग, आई शुड नॉट डू दिस. मुझे सबका दिल नहीं तोड़ना. आई शुड नॉट बी रीजन फॉर व्हाई थिंग्स गो बैड एंड दे फील बैड. ये इतना प्यार करते हैं मुझसे, इतने अच्छे लोग हैं. हाउ कैन आई बी सो सेल्फिश?
But why this thought came into my mind was because Gayatri aunty says this line, कहीं नए रिश्तों की कीमत पुराने रिश्ते तो नहीं. तो मेरे को immediately I was like ये संजय के बारे में बात कर रही है.
Yes, that's
Very subtle. Why do you think I thought that? It's because of this and the picture scrapbook.
But you know, it is vague enough. Sometimes you should write vague stuff also, like thoda vague, ताकि it is open to interpretation for the audience. What do they think? In Sanjay's mind, it can be even further ahead that अगर मैंने ये रिश्ता तोड़ के अपना रिश्ता बनाया तो कितने पुराने रिश्तों को दुख हो सकता है ये नया रिश्ता बनाने के लिए. Can be interpreted that way also, and there can be more interpretations also. It's open to interpretation.
Because she really loves Sanjay. For her, Sanjay is like the magic man. Subtly she's saying also कि इससे शादी करा सकती तो मतलब I'll be more than happy. And then she's saying also कि नए रिश्तों की कीमत पुराने रिश्ते तो नहीं है.
Which is also a subtle way to tell the audience that this would have not been a problem. The family approval is already there, because in the end, if you are going to justify the whole thing happening, then we don't have to put two more scenes कि अरे बेटा तुमने ऐसा क्यों किया, and we didn't want to go into that climax kind of a thing.
So small little old song montage happens when everybody is dancing. अच्छा किसने ये montage का idea to pick up old songs किसका idea था?
Which montage you talking about?
There's this thing ना, पहले the whole family is dancing to Rang Barse from the movie Silsila. Yeah. Then Riya comes in running to Sanjay, says that Anjali said something to Rohit.
Oh yeah, the scene where the pillar is in between and both of them are talking. We just needed some activity and something to happen down. So there was a list of songs and list of things that they can sing and dance. The focus is actually on the top.
I'm coming to that, yes. So I'll just keep mentioning the songs because मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैं DDLJ में जो songs use हुए हैं मैं वही list कर रही हूँ वापस से. It's very similar. I'll tell you as I go. Then Riya comes in running to Sanjay, says that Anjali said something to Rohit. ठीक है, मेरा question है कि रोहित ने अंजलि से फोन पे क्या कहा? Did you think about that? Yeah, it was just random.
The thing is that she is trying to get ammunition like he was getting ammunition earlier in the first half. So she's like, I was listening to their conversation, and the whole point is that Sanjay reacts, how can you barge into their private conversation? So see, he's respecting their privacy now.
अचानक उसका कॉन्शियस जाग गया ना.
Conscious जाग गया. This is his acknowledgement to their relationship, that it is a valid relationship. They have something. This is something which is between Anjali and Rohit, and I'm not a part of it, and I should not be a part. ये वही लड़का है जो फोन पे उनकी बातें सुन के कान बंद कर रहा था और चिढ़ रहा था 1 घंटा पहले फिल्म के अंदर. And see how he's changed. He's become the kind of person who's like, I don't want to get into it. So it's a growth of the character. Whatever they were talking, that's not important. What is important is his reaction to it.
So after that, नीचे the family is singing Baharo Phool Barsao, which is from the film Suraj, also used in DDLJ. I mean, Riya wants Sanjay to profess his love for Anjali, but Sanjay refuses. Riya is more than willing to spill the beans on Sanjay's behalf, क्योंकि दोस्त है, इतना तो करेगी वो उसके लिए. But वो उसको बोलता है कि नहीं, you can't do that. नीचे family is singing Ichak Dana Bichak Dana from the movie Shri 420.
Because now the conversation has gone into a puzzling mode, and that's a puzzle song.
Oh.
Yeah, so the timing of the songs
कैसे किसने क्या डिसाइड मुझे बताओ सब.
That was my job. Like layers होना चाहिए ना कि अब किस वक्त पे कौन सा गाना आएगा.
Then of course Rohit sings तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम for Anjali from the film DDLJ. Sorry Rohit, that's reserved for Shah Rukh. So Riya tells Sanjay that she's leaving. She says it doesn't matter if you don't ask me to stay back because the one thing that you should do is go and profess your feelings to Anjali. को जो करना चाहिए तुम्हें तुम वो तो कर नहीं रहे हो. So she's like I'll see you back in Bombay. But अगर इस बीच तुम अपने दिल की बात कह पाए तो मुझे बता देना, I'll come back. So she's still a little hopeful, but she's like, मैं और ये तमाशा नहीं देख सकती.
Correct, because she is very clear about the fact. She says, मैं इस शादी में शामिल होने के लिए नहीं आई हूँ.
Correct.
मैं यहाँ आई हूँ इस शादी को तोड़ने के लिए. Riya is a example of a loyal friend. वो कुछ भी करेगी दोस्ती के लिए. So the friendship is very important at that time. She is not come here to enjoy a wedding.
Correct.
She has come here to make sure that Sanjay gets what he wants because she is a friend to Sanjay. That's the whole idea. ये बहुत complex emotion है. ये आज की generation को समझना is also very difficult because today everybody is very self-centered. We don't understand. There was a time when friendships, loyalty, to sacrifice your feelings, to sacrifice your time, your effort, your money for your friend, in which you will not get anything. You are just doing something for your friend, just because of friendship, just because you love them, just because you want them to have a better life, just because you want them to be happy. And you do something out of that. You're doing it for your friend. It's very difficult to find such friendships now because we have become too self-centered. But in those days, it was very easy to convince the audience also that there can be friends like this.
But what Riya does next is that she doesn't listen to Sanjay's request of not revealing to Anjali. She subtly...
But she never says.
No, but she says it. Sanjay और मैं
कभी गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड थे ही नहीं.
जिंदगी हमसे मजाक कर. And she's like, संजय तो हमेशा एक ही लड़की से प्यार करता था. शायद तुम जानती हो कौन. She's like, मैं कैसे? Like, you're her best friend.
You should know this.
You should know who he loves. और इतने सालों में वो एक ही लड़की से प्यार करता है. She categorically says that.
Riya, she's the definition of a good friend. That's the strength of her character, friendship and loyalty. And she brings in that in the equation. She tells that you are his best friend. It's on you if you don't know who he loves. It's on you. You should know. You should know. Ask yourself. Think about it. I don't need to say it. You should know. If you're a good friend, then you would know.
Is it to trigger her also to think about Sanjay?
Yeah, of course. Because Sanjay has told her not to say, she's not explicitly saying. She's leading her to that so that she can arrive on that thinking on her own.
So in the next scene, Sanjay has accepted defeat and he meets Rohit very graciously. He's saying also ki you won.
That scene is shot on an airstrip actually.
What are you saying? Switzerland?
Yeah, so outside our hotel in Switzerland, there was this airstrip. 12 days that I was there, I saw just one plane landing. One small little plane came one day. Otherwise, it was bad and nobody was coming over there. And that's the airstrip where we shot that scene. And it was a great place to shoot that scene because there is no architecture. There's no buildings. There's nothing. It's just land and just two guys talking so that your focus is only on the two of them. There is nothing to distract you because it is the most important scene. When I had pitched the film and we talked about that poster, and Adi sir had said that there should be 3 great scenes, 3 new scenes in a film and no bad scenes. So the 3 scenes that I had, remember I told you 2 scenes. This was the third one. It's all about the other person.
That is why the friendship thing which he said in the interval block, हम दोस्त है, तुम बता सकते हो मुझे. So now when he says कि हम दोस्त है, would you not stay back for your friend's wedding? It makes sense.
Correct. आखिर अभी तो दोस्त बने हम.
हाँ. And वो plant नहीं होता ना उधर, तो ये यहाँ पे it wouldn't have worked. Overview में you make sure that you plant some things here and you rework around it.
When I had written एक चुटकी सिंदूर और when I had written picture अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त, as a test I had written that. I did not know that I'm going to use this throughout the film. First time it was written specifically for that scene. But then as I kept on writing more scenes, it kept on going back to that thought. अच्छा thought, a good thought. You should use it again. Now what's the big deal?
And creatively, it's not even like repeat जबरदस्ती का है.
Callbacks are always good, but you can't write a callback thinking that this is going to be a callback. You have to write it and then you have to see what is good that you have written and then call back to that.
Nicely, creatively, just making space for it so that it's
augmented.
Now the मेरे यार की शादी है title track starts. Everybody is having a gala time, nicely enjoying. Anjali notices her mother crying, which motivates your
Sanchari act. It's a different verse. Melodically, it's different. It's not the same antara. We had this song immediately after we had Ek Ladki Ki Tumhe Ka tune when that had locked, and the next song that was locked was this. And this portion Jeet used to sing on guitar. Da-ra-ra-ra, da-ra-ra-ra, da-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. And we used to love it. Beautiful melody. And we used to say, no, this has to be something very important and nice. Of course, it was discussed with Javed Saab and he wrote that Bachpan Ka Ye Angna. I tear up every time I listen to it. It's so beautiful. The film is also an excuse or an inquiry into what a girl goes through when her wedding is happening. It becomes real because of these reasons. We are not doing Shaadi for Shaadi's sake. We are creating moments in a wedding which have not happened before on the screen, but which have happened in real life. People who get married, they have gone through this whole gamut of emotions. And somewhere we should be authentic to that and we should try and bring those things. If I do another film where I have a wedding sequence or a long drawn wedding sequence, probably I'll come up with another 4-5 scenes which have not happened on screen, but that's the real emotion that people go through because that's what makes it real. That's what makes it believable.
The mandolin makes a comeback.
Mandolin makes a comeback.
They had used in kids wala montage, so it makes sense also. Ki, okay, it's come back here and it's not just for decorative purposes.
If you want people to believe something weird and ridiculous that a character is doing, and they would be like, how this is happening suddenly out of the blue, why this character is doing this thing, make that character do it twice or thrice, then it becomes believable.
Then Sanjay is about to leave after the song and Lachu Mama asks him, are you sure
that you want to go now?
क्योंकि वो experience से आ रहे हैं ना uncle. Very beautifully he says, I'm as sure as you were. Why does it happen in YRF films that heroes just leave? They're like, बाऊजी खुद लेके आएंगे, उनको लाना ही पड़ेगा सिमरन को. हाँ, he's also like, no, I'm going, I'm very sure this can't be.
Because there is heroism in humility also. There is heroism in accepting things. There is heroism in not being self-centered. There is heroism in sacrifice. There is heroism in wishing well for others and taking a step back from the dogged pursuit that you had.
Great arc also for him. Growth.
Great arc also. So then when they finally win, then you really feel good about it. Also, a lot of people in life taken that backstab. They should not feel bad when they're watching the film. It's endorsing.
But the weird beauty is that these two men, unrequited love, supporting each other without judgment. I love that. So beautiful.
Stop crying.
I don't know if others would be crying watching this scene.
Can I remind you that this is just a film and these people are fictional?
I know.
Stop crying.
Poor thing. They don't.
Oh my God. My God. This is floods, tear works. Like flood works are happening here.
The support for each other is just beautiful.
Yeah. It's a tender moment and it should be effective in it.
I don't know if anybody else has cried, but I have. It makes me cry.
I've cried.
You have?
When we were shooting that scene, I cried.
Oh my God.
Not like you. You are the flood. I had a lump in my throat and I had welled up. That, wow, what a beautiful moment. I was also crying because I was happy for myself and proud that I've written such a nice thing.
Very nice it is. Very nice. So now we come to the big reveal. Anjali has summoned Rohit a night before the wedding.
On the Jhula.
Yeah. What I don't like in this scene is only one thing that Rohit says is the Hindustani ladki wala aspect. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Why is he talking like this? I'm like, why?
Because he's never teased her before and he's seen that Sanjay keeps on teasing her and that's the basis of their friendship. So now he's also acquiring that trait.
He's
अच्छा,
trying
मैं भी थोड़ा छेड़ता हूँ इसको. You know, he's trying to be a little
So
teasy.
he's not really serious about what he's saying.
Because he's already won. In his mind, he's getting married to her.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to feel threatened or anything.
Then Anjali says that तुम पूछना भूल गए और मैं बताना. ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने पूछा नहीं. उसने पूछा था like अगर तुम्हारा कोई पास्ट है तो तुम बता सकते हो. And Sanjay had jumped in saying मैं उसका पास्ट हूँ. ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने नहीं बताया.
But she never had a relationship with Sanjay that way. It was so obvious and taken that these two are friends from bachpan se. Fine, it's that. Nobody actually did an inquiry into how good friends are they. Is it something more than friendship? So उस बारे में किसी ने पूछा नहीं और ना ही इसने खुद अपने आप से पूछा. It's actually projection. This is what is going on in her mind and she's projecting it on.
So then she makes the big confession that she's always been in love with Sanjay. But he's her only friend in her life.
Yeah, and he's such an idiot.
He's an idiot. I want to slap him.
Yeah.
But Anjali says that she had no expectations from Sanjay because of the way he is as a person.
She says ना संजय को तो तुम जानते. You know how he is.
So she's like, मेरे को कोई expectation नहीं थी कि वो समझेगा what I'm feeling for him.
Yeah, he's always joked around with her.
And Sanjay also, he's never professed his love for her. So उसको भी कैसे ही पता चलेगा? Both of them are.
Yeah, he's always joked around with her.
Because Sanjay has never confessed, Anjali has assumed that she was mistaken that Sanjay will have any feelings for her and she's let go that idea of being in love with Sanjay. So now Rohit is shocked because he was not expecting this.
Because he thought he's won. But now it turns out that no. Sanjay's feelings for her and the confidence in their relationship was not wrongly founded. It had a very strong foundation. Bachpan ka pyar tha kahin na kahin. And he's just getting aware of that. What Anjali tells him is also very important, which is also one of my core beliefs. हर रिश्ते की बुनियाद सच्चाई पे और honesty पे होनी चाहिए. And we are starting a new life. She said, अब तक ठीक था, but tomorrow onwards I'm marrying you now. इसीलिए बताना जरूरी था, इसलिए तुम्हें बता. I'm very happy marrying you. मगर हर रिश्ते की बुनियाद सच्चाई पे होनी चाहिए ना, इसीलिए I'm just letting you know. And she's gone there, and the whole camera arcs around him, and music swells, and Jimmy's wonderful reaction is there. And then we cut to this next scene where
this Rohit goes to Anjali's mother जो मंडप सजा रही हैं. Because she said, I promised Anju मैं खुद सजाऊंगी अपने हाथों से. देखो मुझे याद है.
Yes, dialogue है वो, correct.
मैंने देखी है पिक्चर ध्यान से बहुत. So he asks कि अंजलि के लिए क्या मैं आपकी पहली पसंद था? And she hesitates because she doesn't want to say.
अंजलि की भी पहली पसंद मैं नहीं.
But पसंद और प्यार में डिफरेंस नहीं होता है क्या?
हाँ, but यहाँ पे प्यार they never had dates.
But प्यार तो है ना अभी. Just because validation नहीं मिला इसका मतलब ये थोड़ा ना कि प्यार ही नहीं है.
Pasand as in for a life partner, for Shaadi, for those kind of things. He's now realized that Anjali would have been happy if Sanju was in her life.
ऐसा नहीं है कि रोहित से शादी करने के बाद उसकी दोस्ती टूट जाएगी संजय से.
I mean, you understand what he's trying to say.
I'm understanding. So I'm asking you कि it's a conscious choice that you made. Though I know that these mean different, I'm sure you thought of it as कि synonymously use कर सकूं. So now Rohit reveals Sanjay cannot be here because he cannot see her getting married to somebody else. But I want to do the right thing. And I want the blessings of the mother to do that. Very माँ मैं सही हूँ ना माँ from मैंने प्यार किया.
Absolutely. It's a full tribute to that moment. It's one of my favorite moments in मैंने प्यार किया where he's leaving the house and he says, माँ मैं सही हूँ ना तू मेरे साथ है फिर मुझे डरने की कोई बात नहीं. And Rima Lagu's great performance in that scene. Without a dialogue, she's stolen the whole scene. And Salman also brilliantly done. He's so sincere and so lovable, charming in that scene. So I love that moment. Amazing moment where you're giving lines to the boy, but the moment is actually the mother's. And without giving her actually the dialogue. So I wanted to recreate something like that. And it's the same thing. He tells her that I know what I should do. मुझे भी पता है मुझे क्या करना चाहिए.
The only person who can give any conclusion to this story.
But I cannot do it on my own. I need your help. I need your ashirwad for that. So are you with me? That's what he tells her and she nods and she's crying.
And
She
puts
her hand. Yeah, ashirwad.
Because ये कहानी है संजय और संजू और अंजू. So we are back to gateway जहाँ से शुरू की थी कहानी वहीं पे आके. And they are discussing, let's make a pact. If at a certain age we don't find anybody, we'll be together.
Again from friends. लेकिन खाना फिर भी तुम ही बनाओगे.
Again, not her voice.
Yeah, but beautifully done.
Then he chuckles and like he's almost teary-eyed saying that I don't know what will happen to me tomorrow and I'm talking about so many years in the future because I don't know how I'll live without her. The next thing is Anjali in a bridal trousseau coming to Gateway of India.
Which is ridiculous.
No, it is ridiculous, but it's dramatic enough and it's cinematic.
Yeah, I used to laugh at that. I used to tell Adi sir that Adi sir वो देहरादून में उसकी शादी हो रही थी. वहाँ से वो बॉम्बे आ गई गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया पे और दुल्हन का जोड़ा नहीं चेंज किया उसने.
अरे वो तैयार हो रही होगी और उसने ऐसा बोला like let's run.
Adi sir would only one answer for these kind of logical questions. When I would have, he'll be like, just shut up, okay? Just shut up. Picture है यार.
It's cinematic. I'm sorry. Whoever has issues, it's cinematic.
Yeah. So she comes in the शादी का जोड़ा. No big deal.
Most of the stuff that Anjali says when she's confronting Sanjay, I resonate with that. Except one. आखिर मैं एक लड़की हूँ मैं अपने दिल का हाल पहले कैसे कहती I am sorry girl. No.
Not talk about this. This is going to land me into a... To be honest, I would never write that kind of a line. It's not my line. It's a line that was given to me and I was told to write it. So I wrote it. It's okay. It was a matter of अगर ये climax नहीं लिखा तो picture नहीं बनेगी. It was that situation. So the end that I had in mind in the other draft, which never got made, which I had planted from the second half ka beginning. The second half opens. It was a scene at a sari shop where they have gone. All Sanjay and Rohit and Anjali, everybody, the whole family is gone there to buy the bridal sari for her. And it's told to her that choose which one. So Sanjay picks up one and Rohit picks up a different one. And they both give her that sari and they say, no, you need this one, you should choose my sari. And basically they are trying to show off to each other. They देखना मेरी साड़ी choose करेगी, मेरी साड़ी choose करेगी. In a way, it is a plant to the audience that जिसकी साड़ी choose करेगी, उसको choose करेगी. एक टाइप का वैसा एक ये था. और ये बहुत अच्छी बात है कि आदि सर ने ये सीन नहीं करने दिया मुझे बिकॉज ये पुराना सीन है थोड़ा बट बहुत अच्छा सीन था अच्छा इसलिए था कि बहुत क्लियर था मैन द वे आई वुड वीव इट इन द स्टोरी इट वाज वेरी नाइस सो द शॉपकीपर ही सेज अरे बेटा यू डोंट हैव टू चूज राइट नाउ आई विल सेंड बोथ द शादी का जोड़ा फॉर योर वेडिंग तुम शादी के दिन चूज कर लेना कि तुमको क्या
नाइस
I have delayed that choice till the end of the film.
मतलब ticking time bomb तो है 7 दिन का लेकिन फिर भी choice is delayed.
In the audience का mind now which जोड़ा she'll choose, which of the bridal outfits she's going to choose, whether it's the one chosen by Sanjay or whether it's the one chosen by Rohit. That you don't reveal to the audience. And I had this wonderful scene where in the climax, at शादी का माहौल in the house, गाने बज रहे हैं, a little bit inspired from हम आपके कौन, that Maine Mai is going on in the climax, and she she wants to talk, but she cannot. Everywhere she goes, she gets led into, "Arey beti, tumne bahut acha kiya." Like, it's a very dramatic scene.
Correct.
Similar scene where Sanju has left and Rohit is getting ready to be a groom, and she's roaming around and she's like, "Where is Sanju? Where is Sanju?" And she's all worried. These two chodas come. And now somebody says that, "Arey, have you decided which one you are going to wear?" And then a track in goes to her and we cut it. And it cuts to the Gateway of India, where this is the climax that I had written. 4 of them are sitting there in normal modern clothes. Sanju, Anjali, Rohit and Riya. And they are having breakfast at Taj. The whole scene is to be written in such a way that you don't know who's married to whom. You don't know that. And end of the scene, Uday gets up and says, "Guys, तुम्हारी flight का time हो गया."
That is so Chandni, man.
And now you reveal that actually Anjali and Rohit are only married. And they are going to US together and it's their flight and they hug and they go. And Sanju is then at the Gateway of India and Riya says that कोई बात नहीं है, कोई तेरे को नहीं मिलेगा तो 30 साल बाद हम लोग शादी कर लेंगे आपस में, खाना तुम ही बनाओगे. And they laugh. He sees the flight go from there and that's the end of the film. And that's the climax I wanted. And it was denied and vehemently argued against by Sanjay sir and Adi sir, and they were like, "Are you mad? She will not get married to Rohit, she will get married to Sanju, because that's what the film is about. Bachpan ka pyar." I said, "But that's very obvious." And we had a huge argument about it and lot of things were said and lot of things happened. And then I had one argument and I told Adi sir that, "Adi sir, do you agree that Sanju stands for love and Rohit stands for truth? What is bigger than truth? Nothing is bigger than truth in this world. Truth should always win. Don't we tell stories where truth wins? What is bigger than truth?" And Adi sir said, "Love is bigger than truth. Should win."
I agree with him, but I don't agree with him also.
So we changed the climax. And this entire climax was technically, I can say that it was dictated to me by Adi sir and Sanjay sir. And it's not what I would have gone with. It was not my first choice. But by the time we started shooting the film and by the time I was married to this climax, I had adapted it as my own. But yeah, those lines particularly, मैं अपने दिल की बात तुम्हें कैसे कहती, लड़की हूँ. I would never write something like that. But ठीक है, it's okay. They said, नहीं, it's Hindi film formula. Don't worry about it. It's very good. It's very good.
So when he professes "I love you" and they hug, there's a refrain of "ek ladki ka sargam."
Because I'm a huge fan of sargam. I'm a huge fan of when sargam is the Indian notations like do, re, mi, fa in English, like that. Hindustani classical music, it is sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. And when the melody is spoken in those words, I find it very exciting and love it. And you have to choose a moment for that. Like in Hum Aapke Kaun, it is that ni, sa, re, ga, re, sa, re, ga, re, sa, re. It's beautiful. And whenever that happens, something is very pure about sargam, because you are not listening forced words on the melody. You are literally listening to the melody in the first form it was conceived. So when we were doing the BGM of the film, the background music we were doing, at that time I was after Jeet and Pritam, because they used to come for the background in the studio, and I was dubbing upstairs and downstairs we were doing the background music, and I used to go down and sit on their heads and I used to force them all the time, please sargam karo, sargam karo, sargam kahin pe dalo, kahin pe dalo, kahin pe dalo. And they were like, "Nahi yaar, it's very old fashioned, and what is this sargam you are after?" Jeet Pritam found a moment, and this is the moment where they use the sargam.
Now you know Dhoom ka kaisa hai. Yeah. Actually, Pritam has used Dhoom ka sargam in Malang in Dhoom 3, and I love it because वो एकदम से ऐसा पहचानने में नहीं आता है.
Pritam is a genius. He's outstandingly brilliant musical brain. Yeah, so that's the last scene.
Like there are films that are screenplay films, and then there are films that are dialogue films. This is heavily dialogue film. You made sure that because
I wanted to outshine every other department. When I was writing this film, I was like, मेरा काम दिखना चाहिए यार, सबको दिखना चाहिए कि मैं कितना अच्छा राइटर हूँ. And thanks to Adi sir and thanks to Sanjay sir who allowed that space for it to be a dialogue heavy film. Who will dare yaar in 2001 to write this kind of a film? It's very daring. पर क्या होता है जब कुछ अच्छा होता है ना, तो अच्छा होता है, सबको पता होता है कि this is good.
No, but this is very good. And before we wrap up, is there anything that I've missed?
I'm sure we are missing some things. We are human beings. It's not possible for us to remember every single day and every single thing. I have to talk about the assistant directors in this film who were amazing. Yes. Lovely people. Naresh, Deepak and Joyita Chatterjee. So hardworking. Such loyal team. Such wonderful people to work with. And all the other technicians. Sunil Patel and his team. The camera department. Anuj Mathur and his team when we were doing the sound. Every other department. Whether it was the makeup guys. Whether it was production production design, Sharmishta and her team, and production, Sanjay Shivalkar and Prakash, they were so helpful and so amazing. A good film happens when all of the people come together and they really love the subject material. I still remember that we had shot that scene, interval scene, hai aaj mere yaar ki shaadi magar main kuch nahi hu. And of course, in that day when we shot it, it happened a couple of
Correct.
takes and couple of times. And the next day when I walked onto the set, 7 o'clock in the morning, I heard some lightman was walking saying, "Hey, aaj mere yaar ki shaadi magar main khush nahi hu." And I know that it has reached somewhere. You know, if a lightman is repeating your lines which were shot just a day before, and he remembers the dialogue, because lightman never carefully listen also what is happening in the script. So everybody owns up that film. If a project is made with those kind of energies where everybody owns up the film and everybody thinks that it is theirs, then it happens. There are stories and stories. Maybe I can talk for another 10 hours about Mere Yaar Ki Shaadi and making of it. I haven't really talked about Sanjay sir's craft. I have not really talked about a lot of things. But yeah, content wise, whatever we could cover, I think we have covered in this podcast, and we've talked so much. We've been talking for about 8 hours now.
But I'm hoping you had a good time and I didn't bore you to death.
I enjoyed. I had a great time. I love.
मैंने बीच में पूछा भी नहीं, तुम बोर तो नहीं हो रहे?
नहीं, बहुत मजा आया. It was good fun, and I really appreciate, Abby, the fact that you care and you love content so much that you will go back and you'll research and you'll put all those thoughts. It takes a lot of effort to do this. It's not an easy thing. You're not an ordinary fan. You're a super fan. So that's amazing. Even if there is one person like you, one more person like you in the world, I'll be very happy that at least people love this film and people love what we do.
वो तो मुश्किल है, मेरे जैसा तो कोई हो नहीं सकता.
But yes, it's great, and I hope that every film finds people who love it and they can talk about it for hours and hours. That's what is the ultimate dream of a creator, isn't it?
And don't call it content, it's film. I don't like people using the word content.
Yeah, it's a script, it's a story, it's a world that we've created. And if people still want to go into that world and live it and be a part of it and experience it again after 22 years of releasing it, it's amazing. I feel overwhelmed and I'm very happy.
So I watched it in 2002 और मुझे तब पता नहीं था कि मैं 2007 में I'm gonna work with him. तो मुझे नहीं पता था कि ऐसा होगा. Like when we discuss his top songs, then I'll tell you another story. But for now, I just want to say, पिक्चर बनी, मैंने देखी और फिर 5 years later, it was great. Thank you, May. It was amazing to have you. And I'm going to pick your brain about a lot of movies of yours.
Thank you, Abby. It was great fun. It's great fun knowing you. It's great fun being on Awesome Podmix. Thank you.
You can listen to the Awesome Pod Mix on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Good Pods. We are now on YouTube also, but only in audio form. If you like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/awesomepodmix. Thank you for listening.